Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show, and today we're talking about Naughty Dog and Pony's, defending Naughty Dog from any form of criticism that they clearly deserve at this point. But hey man, the world is burning to Ponies, everything is fine. But yeah, we got plenty of copium, of salt, of everything in between to go over, but the news is out. It is actually a leak, but there's no reason to believe that it isn't the case. And that is the reality that The Last of Us 2 Remastered seems to be coming. And they say The Last of Us 2 could finally be coming to PlayStation 5. A job description on a Naughty Dog developer LinkedIn profile suggested that The Last of Us 2 Remastered is currently in development. And to look at the actual LinkedIn profile, it says, responsible for overseeing the production of all outsourced environment, art assets, weapons, and interactive props for two iconic titles, The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us 2 Remastered. So I don't have a reason to not believe it. So yeah, we're getting stuck with a remaster of Part 2. A very divisive game that, half seemed to really just ball gargle, really. And the other half that thinks that the gameplay seems to be good, but the story, crap, complete total crap. And, not just that, it's that we just came off of getting a Part 1 remake, and there's nothing really significant to the remake other than it looks prettier and has somewhat better AI. There's no gameplay innovation at all, and really, that is disappointing. Didn't include factions. It was actually more money for less content, so that's disappointing. And Ponies always run to say, well, the majority didn't play factions anyway. And the argument, that was the argument. And I would literally respond with, well, if you actually go look at The Last of Us on PS3 and then The Last of Us on PS4 remastered, you would also know that the majority didn't even complete the main campaign either. So that argument, down the toilet. But they don't care. They just defend whatever, man. They'd rather pay more for less. And with the whole faction situation, factions possibly not coming to fruition, Ponies would essentially rather have nothing, because given from what I've read, given how the copium of Factions 2 being put on ice is so prevalent in the gaming community, we have plenty of nonsensical statements as to The Last of Us Part 2 getting a remaster for the PS5, and unfortunately we can't get nothing new out of Naughty Dog, man. They've become extremely complacent, and with fanboys like this, can you really blame them? And Nicola here says, people really be forgetting who Naughty Dog is. These guys' record has been clean since 96. The Last of Us Part 1 PC port says otherwise, buddy. All of a sudden, putting on ice an online project that could be more damaging release than not. And how do you know that? How do you know that? Maybe there is a good game there, but maybe it's just forced into a live service, coming from a developer that doesn't know how to do live service. But they're just going to pretend that, obviously it's more detrimental to have a bad game than no game at all. Amazing. You just want to pay for PS Plus. You just want to give PlayStation more money for nothing in return. But they said could be more damaging than not, and remastering the second most awarded game of all time has people cracking sassy jokes, and honestly, they deserve it. And it's hilarious how these pony clowns value awards given from likely people that don't even play video games to begin with. They value that more than actually enjoying video games. They're quick to reference how many awards The Last of Us Part 2 won, despite the possible political motivation behind that. But they just want to ignore the reality that this game completely fractured the fan base, to the point where, either you'll love The Last of Us Part 2 or you cannot stand The Last of Us Part 2. And while, each side can occasionally admit to certain things, like, sometimes the fanboys will be like, well, I kind of understand why you wouldn't like The Last of Us Part 2. And then the other side being like, well, the story is crap, but, the gameplay was pretty decent. for the most part, it's a very fractured community. Thanks a lot, Neil Druckmann and clowns over at Naughty Dog for that. But this this clown here continues. Says at least wait until they release an actual piece of crap game for PS5 before moaning checkmate. And like I said, the PC port of part 1, absolutely despicable. And shout out to Podorock right here for keeping it real. He says, my bad. I guess it's okay for me to pay $500 for a new console and 4 years deep into the gen not get one new game from them, but that's okay, cause reasons. How about we give them praise when they actually release a new game for the new console we bought? And I agree with that. Because if they drop a new game and it's fire, they give you a reason to actually own a PS5 that Naughty Dog is arguably. You ask PlayStation, you ask ponies about Naughty Dog, or you ask ponies like who's the best dev team over at Sony first party studios, and up until a few years ago, I guess up until a couple years ago, everyone across the pony community would say Naughty Dog, even though I side with Insomniac. But yeah, like the ponies would certainly more often than not, 99.9% of the time would say Naughty Dog. And you can't necessarily blame them up until The Last of Us Part 2. You can't really blame them at all until they became extremely political, until they became more about, TV shows, remasters and remakes, all that nonsense. The whole goal of starting a new console generation is to give that console its identity and essentially, basically, giving the PS5 the PS4's identity with these remasters and remakes. That ain't it, bro. And unfortunately, Naughty Dog is not contributing to giving the PS5 its own identity from the PS4. Matter of fact, PlayStation 5 just seems to continue to be riding off the coattails of the PS4 generation. And I understand the PS4 generation was great, no doubt. But to literally ride off its coattails, 3 years into the console life cycle, it's pretty depressing. And Nicola over here says, that's okay, we don't see it eye to eye here, and he'll let it slide because, the ponies, they know that they're all on each other's side, so he'll let that one slide. I appreciate Puerto Rock for keeping it real. And Later Gamer here says, last game they released, which got a nasty score for good reasons, because Last of Us Part 1 on PC was garbage. And he says, Nicola says, you mean Iron Galaxy? And Nicola, buddy, Naughty Dog was responsible for overseeing that port. I know you want to ignore that because, Naughty Dog in your eyes could do no wrong. But that's the buck stops with Naughty Dog on the Part 1 port. So you want to make excuses, and it ain't just gonna fly, bro. It is what it is. But oh, my boy Rome here, shout out to Rome, says this is what you are doing for me now, industry, and lately they've done nothing but makes remakes and cancels games. That's the sad reality of it. It's what have you done for me lately? And Naughty Dog ain't done much for me lately. So we continue, because Nicola has to continue to put his foot in it, mind you. He said, the world didn't burn to a crisp when The Last of Us Remaster came out 1 year after its PS3 version on PS4. We'll be okay with a remastered of Part 2 after 4 years. Fake outrage and hate as usual when it comes to this game. Oh, buddy. Nicola, the reason why people were okay with the remaster of The Last of Us, coming to PS4 is because, well, if you put your PS3 disc of The Last of Us into your PS4, guess what? Nothing happened, because it's like two different. PS4 would not play PS3 games unless they were remastered or ported, direct ports. Because they were made with different architecture, buddy. That's not the same situation with PS4 to PS5. PS5 will play PS4 games. I think there's like maybe 2 outliers, give or take. But The PS5 has similar architecture to the PS4, which means you could just pop in the PS4 disc and play it on the PS5. That's actually one of the great selling points of the PS5, and why I was like, well, that's really awesome. All the more reason to buy one. Little did I know, and I bought two, mind you. But yeah, to actually make that excuse really, really, really disingenuous and not really comparable. Matter of fact, they did actually drop an update for The Last of Us Part 2 so that you could play Part 2 on the PS5 at 60 FPS. It feels like a remaster already. So I don't really understand the reason for this re-release other than to do a port to PC. And the thing that's going to kill this dude the most is just the reality that the PC port going to be the best version, buddy boy. I know that hurts these types to admit to, but like all the other PC ports of PlayStation games, The Last of Us Part 2 remastered on the PC, it's gonna be the best version of your game that you ball gargle, buddy. And Nicola once again continues, man. Oh man, this dude just loves putting his foot in it. He says, Resident Evil 4, looking at The Last of Us 2 being blasted for having a remaster. He's comparing a remake from a game made in what, like 2005, to a remaster of a game that plays on the current gen console that has a 60 FPS update that literally came out 3 years ago. He thinks that they are equivalent. This, sir, this is a really dumb take. Really, really dumb take. The fact that you're comparing Resident Evil back in 2005 to The Last of Us Part 2 back in 2020. Oh man, your head meat clearly ain't working, huh, buddy? But we're gonna leave Nicola alone. Obviously, I'm sure he's gonna post like 10 other mentally deranged fanboy takes because, well, gotta make that grifter money, blue check mark money, right? Funny enough, these dudes were doing it before they got the blue check mark. But speaking of another blue check mark, a no name, no face, this dude right here. Oh man, this dude, another pony, says The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is an insta-cop. And of course it is, because, Sumo, he definitely a pony. He a hard pony, man. And you know what? If that's the case, you do you. But there's a reason why there's clearly backlash on this. Deservingly so. You may not see it because, man, you got them rose-tinted glasses for everything PlayStation, man. But let us continue because homie here also has a really deranged hot take. He says the dudes begging for a Gears trilogy remastered are upset at The Last of Us Part 2. He's comparing 360 games, games that came out, from like 2006 to like 2010, that era, to a game that literally came out freaking what? 2020? Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. Let's give, Sumo here the opportunity to make it make sense. And shout out to Neo GameSpark. Says Sumo, it's not a good comparison. We're talking about a 3-year-old game versus Gears 2, which was 15 years ago. Bro, stop it. And Sumo here says, age doesn't determine anything for me. Worthiness does, though. So, by going by Sumo's logic here, or lack thereof, essentially what every game developer should do after they make a game that, because these clowns go by Metacritic on whether they embrace a game or not these days entirely, but if a game gets more than a 90 on Metacritic, then you know what? They should wait 2 years. Instead of making a new game, remaster it. Wait another 2 years, make a remake. Make another 2 years, make a remaster of this remake. Continue on, because to actually try new things, to get out there, do something different, become a diverse game development company by challenging yourself to do different things. Now that's not a thing. since this is, a game that has over a 90 on Metacritic, is extremely worthy, you just shouldn't create anything new anymore. You shouldn't do any of that. That's pretty much the stance that this individual seems to want to take. I guess, by that logic, everything should just be remastered or remade, um, if it's good, and immediately. Because, hey, man, 3 years is too much apparently for Sumo. We got to see the same game. It's not going to look much differently on the PS5 than it does on the PS4. The same crap. And here, a Gaming Prophet NYC says, Naughty Dog, been selling you ponies the same damn game for 3 generations. And it's sadly just true, man. Sadly true. And you know what? Let us continue because, well, this guy right here, this big-brained individual right here, says, I've said it so many times. Nintendo gets a pass for everything. Everything. And he posts this meme. It says, Last of Us 2 released 2020, remastered rumor for 2024. Mario Kart 8 released 2014, re-released in 2017. And buddy, did you buy a Wii U? I'm one of like 13 million owners of a Wii U, buddy. I know you don't understand that. And I also know you probably don't do math. You don't understand math. You don't understand basic common sense. Mario Kart 8 has sold over 50 million copies on the Switch. It's what, more than 3 times more of the Wii U sales. So, you know what? A lot of people didn't get to play one of the greatest multiplayer games the past 10 years because it was stuck on a garbage system that nobody bought except me, it felt like. Except me and a couple of my friends. So because of that, a lot of people missed out on a really great, if not one of the greatest multiplayer games, especially in a time where their competitors didn't really do multiplayer, because PlayStation hasn't done multiplayer in a really long time, man. It's been a damn long time. So, you would have liked Mario Kart 8 to have been lost to time. And Nintendo would have missed out on over 50 million sales. Mario Kart 8, despite being a remaster, ended up literally being one of the most sold games of all time. Those are numbers that PlayStation wished that they were capable of, but they weren't. That game continues to be on the top sale charts even to this day. So literally, there's just no comparison here, buddy. I don't know why you even thought that was a good idea to bring up. But then again, I'm assuming that you just don't do math. And I understand that. I'm not really good at math either. But I also have common sense, which is something I think you lack as well. But moving on. We got a J-Dub here. It says, remaster about to sell out like crazy. It ain't gonna sell like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm just saying. It said, I'm listening to anyone saying they won't buy it. They said that about Uncharted Remaster last year. Tell me I'm lying. And I mean, look, it's one of those things where I'm sure, there's definitely going to be a lot of sales for The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. Even if it was sold at the $70 price tag. How they could justify the $70 price tag, I don't know. Maybe if they eventually packaged in that Factions 2 with it. Essentially, release the game that they were supposed to have released the first time with including Factions 2 with Part 2. But, they decided to get greedy and apparently it's kind of come back to, slam them in their face. Maybe that could be justifiable. At least if the multiplayer is good, I could justify paying that kind of money for a multiplayer. I wouldn't play through the story. Matter of fact, didn't even finish the story because of how garbage it was on the PS4. Thankfully, I only paid like $30 for it. To be honest, I still feel robbed, sadly. But the biggest thing I was looking forward to with The Last of Us Part 2 was Factions. And unfortunately, that was torn out of the game because, well, they don't respect us. That's just what it is. And I mean, Uncharted Remastered, it was like, what, a $10 upgrade? That's different, There was no $10 upgrade path to The Last of Us Part 1. I feel as though they will try to make some sort of excuse, or you know what? PlayStation's so fucking greedy now. I don't feel like they would make an excuse. They would just drop that bitch at 70 and not care. Um, I guess maybe it'd be a director's cut. I don't know. It'd be weird. I'm interested to see what happens here. But I guarantee you, a lot of people, if they had that $10 upgrade path, I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to be like, it's $10 if it offers something new. Otherwise, you could just literally go play The Last of Us remaster. I mean, excuse me, Last of Us Part 2 on your PS5 with the 60 FPS patch, and you'll be just fine. So if there's no real change, like if there's no real change to it, and you just choose to pay the money, that says more about you as a consumer. And this homie says, especially on PC, hell yeah. And JW says, your PC is trash. Show me the DX Diags, or I'll assume you can't run modern games anywhere near console. Oh man, that's funny, bro. He said, I recognize that this will probably do numbers, but I'm not buying this. Skipping the same way I skipped The Last of Us Part 1. Same here, man. And he said, bruh, but I am tired of them not releasing anything new. Give us a game already. And like, bro, like there's a lot of people saying this. There's a lot of people that honestly just want something new. They want the PS5 to finally have an identity. And I think that that's the overarching issue of the PS5 3 years in. They reselling you mid and you still buying it. He's gonna make fun of his followers. Gotta love it. But let me see. There was definitely something here. Oh yeah, this tweet had me dead. Dead.
If you buy this, you are dumb.
Maybe if I'd raised you, I could have made you better. And not some weak, sniveling pussy, starved for attention. But there's no fixing that now. Weak? You. I know. You're a fucking disappointment.
Y'all wasn't expecting it at the end. Yep, it's sad realities, man. They're remastering a game that literally shattered the community. And yeah, the review scores from actual gamers speak for themselves. That's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Oh, did we have another one from Nicola? Oh my god, we have another one from Nicola because he can't stop putting his foot up his own ass. Nicola says The Last of Us 2 is already the best looking game across consoles and PC. All the more reason to not actually remaster it. He said, together with Horizon Forbidden West, a remaster version would literally make my TV explode. There's really not going to be that much of a difference, dude. The only difference you're going to see is on better hardware on the PC. So, yeah, buddy, whatever you say there. Oop, and we got my boy Astro Cyborg with this fucking just reality post. He said, ponies when The Last of Us Part 2 remaster gets announced. And yeah, yep, that's pretty on point. And this individual, shout out to Matt, brings up a good point, man. All these remasters and remakes, and what is left out there? Days Gone dead, Infamous dead, Uncharted dead, Killzone dead, Little Big Planet dead, Fat Princess dead, Jak and Daxter dead, Ape Escape dead, Tomba dead, Heavenly Sword dead, Gravity Rush dead, Mod Nation Racers dead, Drawn to Death dead, Twisted Metal life support. The Last of Us milked dry. And it's like, The Last of Us, I think, is a really great narrative game, at least the first game. I think part 2 is severely flawed, mostly by pretentiousness. And these are a bunch of games that are genuinely fun games that I think people would be charmed to have revisited. Some of these games definitely deserve remakes, especially since some of them are very, very dated. Some of them deserve sequels because these are damn good franchises in their own right. But they choose to just milk The Last of Us for every drop. It is starting to feel like The Last of Us's universe in the gaming space, with it, being picked dry, man. It's about time to stop. And then Porter Rock here says, at this rate, at the rate things are going, we'll be playing Wolverine on the PS5 Pro and still won't have a new Naughty Dog game. Yeah, that's more than likely the case, guys. More than likely. So hope you guys are ready because Naughty Dog, man, they're still they're the JV team pretending that they're varsity. But yeah, it's one of those things where covering for this developer is it's proving to be more and more difficult. Naughty Dog's definitely putting these ponies to the test. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. I'm disappointed because I just do not like part 2. Naughty Dog made me not like part 2. That was a choice on their part. They intentionally made a divisive game. Now they're remastering a divisive game instead of putting out something new, something better. And now we're gonna have to deal with it, just so that they can also concentrate on their TV show, and obviously that's more, HBO's thing, but Neil Druckmann's concentrating on that as well, in which they can continue to literally just roll around in the divisive story that they chose to make. Then people are gonna be when it comes to that TV show, them numbers is gonna drop from the first one. From the first season, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this if you can. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Real quick, I actually uploaded my first official channel membership video. It was a good video, got a lot of good feedback, really good discussion. So if you like to check that out, consider becoming a channel member. Basic channel membership gets you instant access to that. It also gets you instant access to the Discord. So definitely consider that if that's something that you're into. I am planning another channel membership video drop, and mind you, these videos are more so these videos are more so things that wouldn't jive with the mainstream channel content. So I don't want to put. I mean, obviously, I want to do what I want to do in regards to the kind of content I want to make, but I obviously don't want it to clash with content that will actually promote my channel and put it out there for more people to see. So that's how that's why I feel as though the channel membership videos really kind of just fit in with what I want to do. So if you're into that, definitely appreciate you pulling up. And yeah, guys, follow me over on Twitter or Kick if you'd like to continue the conversation. Put on the notification bell. I'm assuming if you've made it this far, you want to see when my content gets dropped. And obviously, since I made this, I would like you to see my content when it gets dropped. So definitely hit the notification bell. Less than 20% of my subscribers actually get notified of my videos. And yeah, guys, with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.